Thanks for letting me stay on with your crew, Captain. I plan to be a very generous queen to all my friends.
I can see we're gonna get along just fine, your high exaltedness.
Don't start with that. Risha will do fine. For now. Every captain needs a good first mate. Corso doesn't know what it takes to run a starship. But I do. Considering the light years you've been racking up, I suggest a hyperdrive overhaul and a sublight engine tune-up. Which do you want first?
We're always in a hurry. See if you can squeeze some extra thrust from the engines.
Consider it done. I'll be indispensable before you know it. Bet you were surprised to see I can hold my own in a fight. I'm pretty good with a blaster. My father taught me to shoot when I was 4 years old.
You robbed me of my big chance. Teaching a girl to shoot can be romantic, if you do it right.
And very messy if you don't. Maybe he spared you a visit to the med center. Father wanted me self-sufficient as early as possible. Said I'd need it to survive. He was right. I still remember the day he told me he was going to sleep for a while. Said I was on my own.
Nock was in that carbonite for a decade. Weren't you still counting birthdays on one hand?
I was 11. Made my first solo hyperspace jump and flew to Dantooine. Father had a hideout there. Talk about your one bantha planets. For a few years, Dantooine's population was doubled thanks to me and Father frozen in carbonite.
You talk a lot about Nock, but you've never mentioned your mother.
She died when I was young. I don't remember her. Looking back, I should have been miserable. But it was just a big adventure. Speaking of which, we're overdue for some more excitement. What do you say we get back to our latest caper? Sometimes I can't believe you actually got back my crown. Do you know how many spacers died looking for it? Don't take this the wrong way, but when we first met, I thought you'd end up like all the others.
No wonder you wouldn't let yourself fall for me. You were afraid I'd die.
Oh yes, terrified. You're all right, Captain. With a little polish, you just might shine.
This polishing business sounds like fun. When do we start?
I wasn't volunteering, Captain. Just observing. I shouldn't be keeping us from our work. I know how busy we are. I think I figured out why we get along so well, Captain. We're both restless people. It's how we survive. Trouble loves us, and we just keep on moving. Eventually, Trouble gets tired of following and gives up.
I'm the kind of trouble that never gets tired. Do yourself a favor, sweetheart. Stop running.
I don't have to run from you, Captain. A brisk walk is usually enough. There wasn't nearly enough trouble growing up on Dantooine. After being a crime lord's daughter, sitting around got dull real quick. I had a big library of holo recordings from my father, but I could only watch them so many times.
You still had a starship. I'm guessing you weren't long for Dantooine.
By the time I was 14, I'd had enough. I buried Father's carbonite chamber someplace safe and hit the hyperlanes with a new identity. Those were good times. I met Duran and Adila, got mixed up with Beryl Thorne, lived a life of crime.
I'm sure Nock was proud of your accomplishments.
Actually, he was disappointed I didn't have my own criminal empire. I was having too much fun on my own. I'm starting to enjoy these chats, but I'm feeling restless. Let's go find some trouble. I envy you, Captain. You'll always be free to do as you please. That all changes for me, once I'm a queen.
Freedom is overrated, sweetheart. I'd rather buy a nice planet somewhere, retire with the woman of my dreams.
Dream woman, huh? Good thing you've got a vivid imagination. I've studied records about the Drayen dynasty. They started from humble beginnings, distinguished themselves as war heroes, officially anyway. In reality, they backstabbed their way to power just like every other ruler. Some were better at it than others.
Why didn't Nock make his own play for the throne? He was king of the backstab.
He knew recovering the crown was essential to establishing legitimate rule. It's not enough to conquer a world, you have to hold it too. Father had his failings, but he inspired loyalty. Whenever he defeated a rival gangster, he always freed the enemy slaves. He gave them a choice: join him or take their chances elsewhere. No recriminations for anyone who left. The rest became family.
Interesting way to recruit new talent. How many slaves actually signed on?
Those people had a lot of anger issues. Most were excited to have a job that let them express it. There was this one little Twi'lek girl who joined us. Best thief I ever met. Got into all sorts of trouble together. We were like sisters, but when Father's organization collapsed, we got separated. I never found out what happened to her.
Never too late to find her. If she's as good a thief as you say, she might come in handy.
That was a long time ago. Sometimes it's better to leave the past alone. You're really bringing out my chatty side today. That usually means I need to get some exercise. Let's find something more exciting to do than stand around. Seems like I've been doing all the talking lately. Makes me suspicious. The biggest drawback of the criminal lifestyle is you don't meet a lot of decent men. Most are long on charm, short on substance. What's underneath that charming exterior, Captain? Or is that all you've got?
Maybe I just didn't want to bore you with personal details. You want to know more about me? Ask away.
You're a mercenary who takes jobs for free. How do you plan to stay in business, Captain Goodheart?
I'm looking to settle down with a nice girl of independent means. Know anybody like that?
At least you're honest. I won't lie. I enjoy spending time with you, but I'm not like other girls. The easy lines are wasted on me. If that doesn't scare you off, maybe this will actually go somewhere. I guess we'll see. If I'm going to take over Dubrillion, I can't keep looking for allies in the same old places. The scum of the galaxy isn't as useful when you're stealing a throne. I need a better class of accomplices.
You can't steal anything big without some corrupt officials on your payroll.
There are some interesting rumors out of Dubrillion. Turns out the aristocracy is unhappy with the king. Some nobles are secretly rebelling.
Get those idiots to wipe each other out. They'll leave you a nice big power vacuum to fill.
I don't want to inherit an empty treasury, or a blood feud. Dubrillion is turning into another Alderaan. A new queen could prevent that, assuming she had the aristocracy's support. But that means taking this game to a new level. You up for that?
I'm not leaving you until you're sitting pretty on that throne. And not even then.
I'll have to find you a political appointment. Maybe something in sanitation? I've put out feelers to some key Dubrillion nobles. When one of them bites, be ready to pounce. In the meantime, we have plenty of other business to keep us occupied. I notice we're spending a lot of time together. I'm not complaining, but you know this can't go anywhere, right? Sooner or later I have to leave your ship. I don't want any hard feelings when I do. Does that make sense?
Hard feelings? You've barely given me the time of day.
Exactly. Why form a messy attachment if we're just going... I notice we're spending a lot of time together. I'm not complaining, but you know this can't go anywhere, right? Sooner or later I have to leave your ship. I don't want any hard feelings when I do. Does that make sense?
I'd rather regret you for the rest of my life than get scared off by your crazy talk.
There's just no reasoning with you. Have it your way. If you want to make something of whatever it is we have, fine. But don't say I didn't warn you. Never thought I'd say this, but you're my favorite partner in crime. You make beating the odds look easy, Captain.
What can I say? I'm inspired by a beautiful woman.
Just so we're clear, I had a snappy comeback for that line, but I'm not using it out of respect. I've definitely learned a few dirty tricks from watching you work. Think I might have found a few of my own. We'll find out at our next death-defying showdown. I can't wait. You probably think I'm chasing Dubrillion's throne to get rich, don't you?
You're a much more complicated woman than that.
You think I'm complicated, but in a good way, right? Because I am complicated. I've seen what bad leadership does to a place. Alderaan, Nar Shaddaa, even Coruscant. They all suffer because of who's in power. I'm not looking to plunder Dubrillion. I want to make it better, run their society the right way.
I knew that mercenary attitude was a lie. You're a bleeding heart do-gooder. Admit it.
Don't be ridiculous. I'm talking about political survival. Every successful leader has the same strength. They're perceived as generous by their subjects. Give the people just enough of what they want, and they'll leave you alone. That's something the King of Dubrillion doesn't understand.
You can't give people what they want if you can't afford it. Maybe Dubrillion isn't as wealthy as you think.
It's wealthy enough to support an aristocracy. Of course, they need to get paid off too. I can make this work. It's all about negotiation, and I'm good at that. I'm just thinking out loud now. We should get back to business. Been thinking about our decision to keep things casual. Thought I'd make sure you're still alright with it.
You In case you haven't noticed, I never stopped chasing you.
We've been running a long time. That takes real stamina. It could be years before I'm on Debrillion's throne. Seems a shame to limit my options in the here and now. You seem to know what I like. Heard of any opportunities I should explore?
Opportunities are my specialty, but I need to know exactly what you're looking for.
Someone cool under pressure, but quick on the draw, who understands business and knows how to take care of it. Ring any bells?
I know just the guy. He's practically a legend. You'd like him.
Is that so? Keep talking.
I'd rather not.
Good answer. I look forward to continuing this discussion later.
You think about what I said and get back to me with a response.
You can count on it. We can't just stand here staring at each other. We have some exciting caper to pull off, don't we? Guess who found a potential accomplice in the Debrillion aristocracy? Feast your eyes on this hollow-embossed, genuine flimsoplast invitation. See that fancy Arabesh lettering? Hand-drawn, in ink. Classy. Count Merritt Renald requests the favor of your presence at a discreet location in the Galactic Senate Tower on Coruscant at a time of your choosing.
Coruscant? Why not Debrillion?
Coruscant is neutral ground. Meeting at the Senate Tower? That's a gesture of respect. Count Renald is one of the most popular nobles on Debrillion. He's also secretly organizing a rebellion against the king. His invitation is addressed to Risha Drayen, royal heir to the Drayen dynasty. He's taking me very seriously.
The Count sounds like the kind of accomplice you need to overthrow the king.
I'm contacting him by holo to arrange our meeting. Wanted you here to help me get a read on him. Opening a channel. Whoa.
This is a tremendous moment, your royal heiress. I grew up hearing tales of the Drayen dynasty, the great battles your ancestors fought. I never believed I'd meet a member of that proud bloodline in person. You have my deepest sympathies for your family's exile.
Risha wants back into Debrillion politics. You can make that happen, right?
You must be the starship captain who recovered the crown of Debrillion. My world is in your debt.
The king wants that crown, and my head. He won't be happy if he finds out we're talking.
The man has lost all reason. He must be removed from power, but in a way that spares our world a bloody civil war. I believe the common people and aristocracy alike would embrace the Drayen dynasty heir, especially if she wears the crown of Debrillion.
Nothing is ever that easy. Skip to the part where our lives get complicated.
It will not be enough to dethrone the king. He must be replaced by someone that people view as one of their own. Right now, you are an outsider. The only way to change that is to marry someone from the existing aristocracy.
Get married? To who?
Well, the only available suitor is... Great stars, this is awkward. I am offering myself in marriage to you.
You sound a little nervous, Count. Is your heart really in this?
Forgive my hesitance. I only feared insulting the lady with my abruptness. The circumstances are far from ideal. I understand my proposal is abrupt, but I wished to make my intentions clear and not waste your valuable time. I certainly don't expect an immediate response. All I ask is that you consider this for the good of Debrillion.
That'll be easier to do once we've met in person. I'm on my way to Coruscant. See you there, Count. Well, that wasn't awkward at all.
That was the worst blind date ever. You've known this guy all of 2 minutes and he proposes marriage? Crazy.
This isn't romance, it's just politics. Under the circumstances, I should probably take this meeting alone. Be back soon, Captain. Never talked to a complete stranger for that long before. Count Renald gives to charities, builds orphanages, creates wildlife preserves, and those are just his hobbies. You ever consider we've been wasting our lives?
I do everything for one reason. To get rich. It's straightforward, easy to remember, and works amazingly well most of the time.
The simple life. Anyway, I left the negotiations open. I told the Count I needed time to think about his proposal. That'll give me a chance to run a deep background check. If this guy is as good as he seems, he just might help me overthrow the king without getting married. Count Renald is a man of his word. He sends me daily updates about his rebellion's progress. Incredibly sweet, beautifully written updates. I knew taking Debrillion's throne would be a challenge, but this is getting complicated. I'm not falling for him, but I might have to take this marriage proposal seriously. It's smart politics.
Nobles sleep in separate rooms, right? You can always slip me the key to your private chambers. I promise, I'll be discreet.
I'm trying to imagine a universe where anything you do is discreet. When I am queen, my days of racing the hyperlanes are over. Can you honestly see yourself settling down on Debrillion? I'll stop bothering you. I needed to talk, and you're the only person who understands me.
I'm always here if you need me.
I'm sure there's trouble somewhere with our name on it. What do you say we go take all its credits? I can't hold off Count Renald forever. I have to answer his marriage proposal someday. But I want to make an informed decision. I was hoping you could help me out with that. In private.
I have a lot to say on the subject. I recommend we lock your door, so our conversation isn't disturbed.
You think of everything. That was a very persuasive argument.
Sweetheart, this debate's just getting started.
You've put some thought into this. I'm, listening intently. You know, crowns and thrones aren't that great. I could maybe live without them. Or you could trade in this starship for a palace. What do you think?
I work best flying by the seat of my pants. You don't want me getting boring, do you?
Definitely not. I think I've just made my choice even more complicated. We should probably cool things off for a bit. I have some thinking to do. Things on Debrillion have taken a turn. The King's put a death mark on Count Renald's head. When the citizens heard that, they rebelled. The King imposed martial law to stop the rioting. But that got the aristocracy riled up. The whole planet's going to war.
Where do the other nobles stand? Are they with the Count or the King?
Some support Count Renald. Others remain loyal to the King. They're all looking to benefit from the fight. Needless to say, the Count has his hands full just staying alive. But even with all that's happened, he still wants to marry me. I can't keep putting him off. Any advice how I should play this?
The death mark puts a lot of pressure on a person. If you're gonna let him down, be gentle.
There's no good way to shoot a man down, especially one who's running for his life. Ah, perfect. Time's up. That's him calling on the Hollow. All right, let's do this. Mert, I'm glad you're safe. From what I hear, the fighting got worse after you escaped.
I cannot spare Debrillion from war, but perhaps we can still create a better future together. I realize forging a true relationship takes time, and our marriage won't be consummated for some time, but I am hopeful. My proposal stands, dear Risha. Will you marry me?
Say yes. Hurry before you lose your nerve.
What about us? Are we over? Just like that?
You and the Count are your world's best hope for peace. I won't stand in your way.
A grand and noble gesture. I thank you. Risha?
Yes, I'll marry you. We'll make it official the old-fashioned way. Have your people bring me a written contract to sign. But let's not make it easy for the King to kill us. Until the war's over, we shouldn't meet in person. Agreed?
I will continue to send you updates as I'm able. Debrillion will be free. Farewell, my lovely wife. May the stars watch over you.
Well, this is awkward.
You have a place in my ship for as long as you need it.
Stop being so nice. You're making me regret all this. I should probably do something to celebrate. Want to go steal something really expensive? I've been getting reports on the war for Debrillion. It's dragging into a stalemate. Nobody has a clear advantage yet. I want to get more involved with the war effort, but my allies tell me the best thing I can be is a symbol.
Don't listen to those people. If you want to fight for your planet, just do it.
Problem is, they're right. I'm 100 times more effective as a rallying point for people who oppose the king. The minute I open my mouth and start talking politics, I risk losing support. I can't afford that right now. Guess I'm stuck on the sidelines until it's over. At least I have company. I've been thinking about the future a lot lately, and I had a funny realization. Every scenario I see, you're in it. I've never let myself get close to anyone. Not even my friends from the old days. Count Reneld may be my husband, but you're my family.
Right back at you, Risha.
I don't know what the future holds for us, but I promise to always be there. Not just for you, but everyone you care about. That's as mushy as I'm getting. Back to finding trouble.